So this is it, guys. Dreams do come true. Nintendo pulls fucking through, and that rhymed. Oh my god. So, a little bit ago, there was a rumor going around that there was a Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga remake coming out for the 3DS, and the rumor evolved into legitimate evidence of a leak in the form of data mined stuff from the eShop. Ha, man. I don't know if people know this. I'm sure some people watching this do. Some people don't. I fucking love a Superstar Saga with, like, a way more burning passion than most people probably do, and I could talk about this game for hours, and I'm not going to because I've been gushing about this game all day. So, it was announced, and I was very excited because I was worried for a second because it wasn't in the conference, it was announced later, and the guy, first of all, let me just talk about that. Literally the most casual announcement I've ever seen in my life. Like, could not have been more casual about it. He literally was like, and coming up next is a Superstar Saga. And it's called Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. That's what the game's called. And it's like, and coming up next, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. Like, stay tuned, guys. And I was like what? Like, what? And it turns out it was real. And literally during then they were like, yeah, I don't think this game's in. Have we announced this game? And they're like, no, this is the official announcement of the game. Okay, cool. And I was like, okay, like, okay. Obviously, it's a bigger deal to me than some other people, but they showed the trailer or whatever, and looks really fucking awesome. And I'm gonna talk about some things people have been saying about it, and I agree with some and disagree with others, but let me just get right out of the way, and it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's a Superstar Saga remake using Mario & Luigi Dream Team's assets, which were used also in Paper Jam, so they're kind of recycling these things. To be fair, it's a great idea, because apparently Dream Team was a long fucking development time because of how intense the pixel art is in that game. The art assets in that game are amazing. Seriously, anyone who's trying to argue, there's some people talking about the way this game looks, that's what I'm going to get to, but no one can deny the pixel art in with these Dream Team assets are so fucking good. They're not pre-rendered graphics. Some people think they're pre-rendered, like 3D graphics, and that just proves how good these look. These aren't. These are actual sprites, actual 2D animated sprites, and they are so gorgeously done that they come off like 3D models. It's pretty absurd. Like, watching Dream Team in action when I first played it, I was pretty blown away. So, already, I am extremely okay with the idea of them using Dream Team's assets because it's aged well. It's aged better than Superstar Saga has. I like Superstar Saga's look, but I think Dream Team's assets are well suited for this game, like, are good. It's a good idea. They then added some kind of more realistic lighting effects to this one, which weren't in both Paper Jam or Dream Team, and they don't look bad. They actually look pretty cool. Like, I'm kind of a sucker for, like, the kind of nice, realistic, like, lighting look. I think it needs to be done well, but I think this is actually done pretty well. Like, I've yet to see an immediate issue with that. And then the other kicker, which I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to detrack a little bit, is the plus Bowser's Minion part, which they showed off in the E3 conference, like the treehouse thing. And it doesn't look terrible. Like, I was worried about that really bad. First of all, I was like literally like at the edge of my seat, like gripping my desk, waiting for them to use a bros move because I wanted to make sure they didn't like touchscreenify it or like do some like, you know, BS like gimmicky thing to it, and they didn't. It's actually just, it's normal button commands like it was in the other game, and that makes me so freaking happy. So obviously they thought Superstar Saga was not a big enough package, so they're adding this little mini game to it called Bowser's Minions, I guess. Can't really describe it. It's kind of like almost like a defense game. You're trying to like do the most damage, and you have these like commands in the bottom. Really different from anything I've really seen. Doesn't look terrible, and I think it's completely optional. It seems like it's a completely separate entity from the actual game, and it takes place during Superstar Saga. Like, it takes place like what happened to Bowser's Minions, but most of them were fighting Mario during the game, so I don't really, whatever the case, it's a really interesting idea, I guess. If it's optional and I don't like it, I have absolutely no issues with it because I can just skip it. If it's not, if there's nothing, I don't know, if it doesn't affect me in any way, what the hell ever, they can add whatever the hell they want. I just voice cracked, that was embarrassing. Let's get back to the actual game, because they like literally played that for like an hour on the treehouse thing, and not that I didn't care, but I was like, okay, like I've seen what this is about. You don't need to show me the entire game. It looks fun enough. I'll probably try it and probably like it, so whatever. Back to the actual meat of the game. So the game looks and sounds awesome. I think it seems very faithful, like scenes that they show. First of all, I know Superstar Saga by heart. I have played that game so many times. I play it like once a year. I seriously love the hell out of that game. So they seem to have these scenes done pretty fucking well. They most of the scenes are recreated almost like identically with, you know, newer graphics, obviously, and I think that's cool. But I'm going to talk about some skepticism with the game now. Kind of wanted to hold off on this, but so basically I've seen some people posting on Twitter and actually some like pretty negative feedback on the game. I mean, not like terrible. Don't think of this as anything really that bad. I mean, Superstar Saga is a amazing game to its core. It's not just the graphics that are anything about this. Like, look at the video right now. It's got like, you know, 90,000% likes. Like, it's got like 70 dislikes and like 4,000 likes. It's not like this game is getting the panning that fucking any Paper Mario game has gotten in the last few years. So I'm a little indifferent to what people are talking about, because it's weird. People are kind of putting it on this base level that this game looks a lot more realistic, quote unquote, and a lot more with the realistic lighting, kind of a more going for a more like 3D looking world, still stylized, but a lot less cartoony, I'd say, than Superstar Saga was, and that's fine. Like, I think Superstar Saga has a certain look and feel to it, and I don't think that's ever going to be beat. Like, I don't think that's like, you know, you play that game for that game. And this remake is doing things really well. Like I said before, scenes are recreated almost identically, and it looks pretty fucking nice. Just thinking about it, honestly, just gives me fucking butterflies. I swear to God, it's ridiculous. And I really like that idea of playing through that game again in these updated graphics. I've played that game so much that, like, it feels good that it's getting this attention and this time and effort put into it where I can play it again and kind of have this new feeling to it. But man, people are fucking not happy with it. I've seen a lot of people saying it straight up looks ugly. You know, all these sprites are just straight downgrades, and like they really are just like ripping the personality and character out of the original. I think that's a little extreme. You can say what you need to say about how it looks, and to be fair, I probably would prefer the original as well. I like the way this one looks, and I like Dream Team's assets. I think it's a really pretty looking game, but in a lot of ways, Superstar Saga has this look and feel that obviously I am extremely, extremely partial to, because I've grown up with it for, you know, 20 years. But, not 20 years, how long is it? 10, whatever, 15, I don't know. Whatever the fucking case it is. And I don't know, it's like, I don't think the character's gone either. People seem to take these screenshots of like two scenes and they look like identical, and they're like, wow, look at this, and I'm like, what? Like, I don't see it. It's just like, I mean, I guess it's a little less colorful because there's realistic lighting and the character design is updated and isn't the same exact sprites, but it's not like a bad looking remake. Like, damn, guys, like, there is some shit looking remakes out there. This is pretty damn good, and considering it's all pixel art still, it still looks really nice. They're reusing probably half assets from Dream Team and reusing and making new assets for Superstar Saga's enemies and shit, and that's a lot of work. Some people are kind of putting some blame on the way some enemies look, and to be fair, I can agree to some of these. Some of the enemy designs that they redesigned, not really redesigned, there's some Koopas. Koopas have a you know how in, the best way I can describe this, you know how in Superstar, well, not Superstar Saga, remember how in Paper Mario they always had the sunglasses, they had a specific look to them, the Koopas, and then in like Sticker Star they kind of like simplified it to just like Koopas and Goombas and Shy Guys. It's kind of that same idea, but instead they're kind of still authentically like presented. It's like, okay, perfect example, I'm not gonna edit the fuck out of this, but there are Hammer Brothers in Superstar Saga, and they're these big, bulky fuckheads, and they have a lot of character, and yada yada yada. And the new game, they're just standard Hammer Brothers. They're ones recycled straight from Dream Team, and I can't give it that much shit for it. It's so much easier. I mean, like, why would they go through that effort of doing that when they have the Hammer Brothers, and it's staying way more in the Mario canon? There's really no reason why the Hammer Brothers would look that way. I know Superstar Saga has this certain look to it, but they're straying away from that for this, and whether you like it or not, I mean, it's happening. Not that, like, I'm just saying as in, like, yeah, okay, Superstar Saga will always have this look and feel, but this one has its own kind of thing. It's, you know, Dream Team stuff. It looks like Dream Team, which is fine. I mean, like, I think Dream Team looks really nice. I can say, though, some of the character designs are pretty funny. I saw this one with, like, there's a Koopa that has this, like, kind of distinct looking, like, he's, like, on all fours, and he has this plant growing out of his head, and they, like, crudely, like, added a plant to just, like, a standard Koopa's, like, sprite, and, like, made his shell blue, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, those guys have a very specific look, and they do very specific things, so I'm like, they could have, like, made them a little different. Like, they don't have to just be a recolored Koopa. And to be fair, I hope they don't do that with some of the enemies and some of the mainer characters, because there's some really distinct characters in that game who are straight Koopas, and there's, like, you know, there's the Koopas that you knock over with your speed thing, and it's like, are those just gonna look like big ass Koopas, or are they gonna actually, like, be like, you know, the weird looking, like, wobbly guys from Superstar Saga? Yeah, time will tell, obviously, but I really hope that's the only argument I could fend with was, well, if that's the case, I really hope they don't fuck up any of the bigger characters, because an enemy is an enemy. I don't love it, but it's whatever. But all in all, I'm still extremely excited for this. I am extremely excited for Superstar Saga to get some new attention. This game is extremely good, and in my opinion, pretty underrated, because, I don't know, everyone seems to have played the other ones. Nobody really seems to have played this one, from what I can tell. I don't think it's losing any of its character. A lot of its character comes from its dialogue, the way the game plays even, and, you know, just in general, it's like the sprites don't look that bad. Cackletta, like, her laugh looked really good. It didn't look like any different than it does in Superstar Saga. It was still very animated, it was still very jumpy and bouncy. Mario and Luigi sprites are still very cartoony and bouncy and jumpy. I was losing my breath, so I thought I'd do a little funny thing there. Seriously though, I am extremely excited for this game. It is about damn time. It is like dream come true. Oh, it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy this is a thing, and it comes out in like October. So funny enough, I actually thought it was going to come out sooner because it was paired up with a game that comes out like soon on the eShop, so I was like, maybe it's gonna be like one of those things where Nintendo's like, and it's out now, and like surprise everyone. But nah, it's coming out in like, it's October 9th or something, and oh man, I cannot wait. And for some reason I was under the impression this was going to be digital only. I don't know why, but they showed the box art and everything, and it looks super good. I am very excited for this game, if you couldn't tell. I hope everyone plays it, and this is going to be a game I really root for people to play. Even though the 3DS is kind of dying in a little bit of, in some ways, I pop it in for this game, and the Metroid game, because Superstar Saga is so fun and such a great Mario and Luigi game. Does a lot of fun, interesting things with its gameplay that I'm sure I will talk about maybe when the game comes out or something. But a lot of cool concepts, a lot of really, really cool world, really interesting like characters and world. So much fun. Ugh, it makes me so happy. I'm sorry, I'm like gushing again. Yeah, that's it. So Superstar Saga Remake. Can you fucking believe it, right? And I think that's kind of all I am going to talk about with E3. Hope you enjoyed these last few videos. Nintendo really knocked it out of the park with this E3 in my opinion. Obviously, I am a bias because these games are catering towards me, but I seriously love it. It shows that they really care and they're putting a lot of thought into what they're doing these days, so way to go, Nintendo. So I hope everyone enjoyed E3 like I did. Hope everyone will buy the games I'm telling them to buy, obviously. No, I hope everyone enjoys the games that are coming out and we can all be happy gamers and not complain all day about everything ever. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.